Let me explain in the most clearest way. Yes, God created Eve for Adam, the support partner. But that was it. The sex consummating was not of God's original plan. Even though it made the vessels with the reproductive organs, it still was solely God's duty to create alone. But when Eve fell for the trick of eating the fruit and learning of her Lord's desires, she became an agent of Satan, the agent of the adversary. You know, it's a lot of names for these being Gabriel or whatever. And when she seduced, hypnosing Adam into it, they both became agents of the adversary. So that what began the long suffering, hardship, and problems, because there was no longer a creation of God, or it was still creation of God, but it was no longer a reflection of the glory of God, because they fell for a trick, the trick that they fell and disobeyed. So they got kicked out, and then that's where they began their suffering. But when Christ came, he led example by, canon doctrine. They gave subtle clues on how we should be breaking free from this world, from this bondage. Yes, he may have died for your sins, but at the same time, or they say he bled because he showed rebellion against corrupt leaders. But however, it's still up to every individual to exercise their sovereign right and choose permanent salvation and peace, and choose not to birth others into this world, into iniquity, into this world, into bondage, into hardship, struggle, burdens, woes, etc., etc. So yes, we should be going distinct to permanent salvation and permanent peace. Even though we are redeemed, certain actions bring you back, or you reenact that cursed sentence. You reenact the fall. When you plant your seed in her womb, making her the incubator, and forcing another being into flesh, you are falling back into the fall, into the agenda of Satan, which is to keep y'all in the world with sin and evil. It's a world of good and neutral, but you're still exposed to the ugliness of life. This is why you need to go extinct. This is why you don't need to plant your seed in incubator. The union between the male and female is still more representation of the fall and of what Satan is trying to use you for, which is to mimic God's ability to create, as well as being defiant of God, especially if you give him birth. That's a reminder of Adam's and Eve's fall. If you give birth, that is a representation of Adam and Eve's fall and the long suffering that befell you because you ate of the fruit and learned of your fleshly desires. This is why you need to go extinct. This is why it's best to be celibate or not to choose a woman. But if you do, don't get her pregnant. Simple. Because if you do, you're mimicking God. It's like an insult. And you doing the will of Satan, which is to insult God, anyways, because they're supposed to be on the opposite team, but they say Satan is the agent of God. But at the same time, it's still a test regardless. It's for you to pass the test, and that is the test to for you to pass is to not plant your seed in her womb. That's why I say you have to be the heavenly God and goddess, or continue to be the agent of Satan. But I'm giving you a choice. It's like the right way is to be of God, because you are exercising your sovereign right to not birth another into burdens and trials and tribulations and hardships. You severing the cycles of life, of evil, sin, etc., etc. Go instinct to permanent salvation, permanent peace, bliss, happiness, no cost, no fees, no burdens, no hardships.